Hey, what's up? This is Edwin Digital. All right, so you guys have already noticed all these changes that's been happening in social media. First of all, the TikTok ban that happened, I believe it was like Saturday night, and then all of a sudden it came back online recently, and just the whole turmoil as what's been going on with this country. Major changes, and you're probably wondering, well, what direction are we gonna take when it comes to digital marketing and e-commerce and just overall making money online, right? Let me tell you what this huge shift means for you. If you like this type of content, I'm trying to throw not just tutorials of Shopify, right? I'm trying to show business topics that definitely will help you scale your brand. I would always appreciate that follow and subscribe, and let me know in the comments what you think about this type of format that I'm trying to give out to you guys. This whole TikTok thing, right? There's pros and cons depending on how you look at this, right? There's a lot of people who they are against the thing about stealing our information or China knowing about our information, and things are just like data privacy and all that stuff, where there's that other part of the world here in the US where we feel that we're at least given a chance to make money. You have platforms such as Meta or Instagram and Facebook, as well as, you know, maybe even YouTube, that they haven't really figured out a way on how to allow us to earn money, right? As UGC creators per se. We do have the tools to do that. I'll give an example. So you have Amazon. Amazon is a fulfillment center where a whole bunch of people, regardless of where you make your products, they have it housed there, and they have affiliate programs. I'm sure you've heard of it. Oh, the link down below, get my Amazon link and I'll get a cutback, right? And it ships to your door just like the whole TikTok shop experience. The thing is that Amazon doesn't have a social media platform, and they are not working well, let's say, with Meta. You might ask yourself, what's up with Jeff Bezos and Mark Zuckerberg just sitting on the table and be like, hey, yo, let's do business together. You know, let's make this happen. It hasn't happened. I don't know why. Secondary, there's Shopify. You guys remember when Shopify, they wanted to do a fulfillment center in order to compete against Amazon? Well, something happened. That happened a few years back where that initiative started, and then it just took a dump. Like, it just never actually moved forward. I think that's where AI started to kind of like resuscitate or actually come into fruition. And then Shopify was like, you know what, we're going to change our track of direction. Let's pull the plug on all that fulfillment thing. We're not going to compete against Amazon. Let's focus more on our platform. Shopify could have done it because, as you know, they have like the shop app as well, where they have their own kind of commerce and so on and so forth, but they can't do it, whatever. So now we're just kind of like, okay, well, here comes TikTok. They give a creators program, or they come up with this TikTok shop where people could just easily see the products, and it's so easy to buy. That's the key thing. It's very easy to buy. And then it comes into your door as quickly as Amazon will come through. But here's the best part. If you're part of the creator program, you're able to make a good commission. Let's say between 10, 15 to up to even 30% commission for every sale. You might think that might not be a lot, right? But check this out. The thing is that TikTok has a lot of people in it. There's a lot of viewers, a lot of engagement going on TikTok. And so they give creators the ability to say, hey, I just bought something, you need to buy this, whatever. And it's the most cheapest commercial that you would ever see, but it still works. The selling point is the price. The price is extremely cheap, and in most cases cheaper than Amazon, okay? So if it's cheaper than Amazon, it comes to your door immediately. There goes Amazon getting hit, and they feel threatened. They're like, yo, our business is going down. And I don't know if you noticed towards the end, or Amazon tried to kind of like go in cahoots with TikTok and say, well, allow some of our products to go in there too. They realized that it was hurting them, and therefore they wanted to join forces as well. So you see what I mean? If Amazon is able to talk to TikTok, why can't Amazon talk to Facebook or YouTube? What's going on, right? TikTok figured it out, okay? So a lot of people from TikTok were making boatloads of money because of volume sales. It was all about volume sales. Oh, one last thing before I forget. So I have made a free community for everything related to Shopify, where it has all of my latest and greatest videos on education. If you're interested, I left the link down below. I realized that, you know what, I'm not gonna charge for this type of stuff. I might as well do it for free. So click down below if you wanna be part of that community. It's a school community where you could go ahead and meet like-minded people just like yourself, all right? Just wanted to throw that in there. That's my gift for you guys, because I want all of you guys to make money. Let's go, continue. Like, all right, 30%, but then this person bought, and some people, even some of my students from the academy, some of my students, they're making somewhere around $6,000 a month. easily, and sometimes even more. And some of them would even go live, and that's how they make crazy money. So now we're here where it's like, okay, we have a privacy concern. The government is worried that, people from the other side will start taking information from us, and that's like espionage or something like that. It's something that's horrible for our privacy. I totally get that. But us as a country, how can we solve that? Do we have the infrastructure to do it? Absolutely. But why don't, let's say, Zuckerberg and all these people change the format to say, let's allow our creators, people who are on Instagram or on Facebook, to go ahead and sell products from Amazon so that they could get a 30% cut and straight to the bank account. Very easy. Why can't we do this, right? The other issue is not even aligned with anything having to do with e-commerce or business. It has to do more with the algorithm and how it gives you content. A lot of the times on Facebook or on Instagram, the content that you see is always so predetermined. It's like funny stuff, these memes that are like not even all that great, and it's the algorithm is just not there. And what a lot of people are saying is, well, you don't feed the algorithm. You don't actually click on what you like and don't like. So how can the algorithm learn as far as what to pitch to you towards what you like? They're saying you gotta feed the algorithm. You gotta comment on something. You gotta reshare. So it's making you, the user or the consumer, work harder just so that you could get the right thing. Meanwhile, TikTok doesn't do that. TikTok pays extremely close attention to your activities. What they say is, all right, how much time are you watching this content until you swipe? How do you do anything do you press like, do you share, do you save? Like, all of those attribute to points. And based on that point system is how the algorithm will start favoring your content to show more and more people. Also, in case if you don't know the basic as to how it works, let me explain real quickly. Crash course. So basically what it does is that when you post something on TikTok, it always shows it to like a very small amount of people, like let's say 200 people. And that small audience, they have to like, or they have to positively react with your content. If that content is not reactive correctly within that small batch, TikTok will dead out the content and it will not show it again, right? It won't show it to anybody. So if you post, let's say you go ahead and you create a post right now. You're gonna post it on TikTok and then you're gonna post it on Instagram. If you post it on TikTok, TikTok will not waste any time as long as it's following by the guidelines, and it'll show immediately to that first batch of 200 people. Do you know what Instagram does? It's the slowest. It'll show maybe 5 people, but it'll be like that for hours, right? And then slowly it'll start picking up unless your account is already nourished where it shows a whole bunch of people. So I'm just talking in respect of people who barely have anything. So TikTok's algorithm allows the nobodies, right, the people who are not famous, to go ahead without prejudice and shoot the content out to see if it's going to be viral or not. And if it passes that first wave of the first 200, right, then it goes into, let's say, the 500 or the 700s. It's like less than 1,000. That's that second wave of testing period. And so that trial period, if it does well there too, now you're gonna start seeing your views go into the thousands. And there's like about almost like 5 waves before it starts to really go into virality, okay? I've done this experiment with a post that you could check out on my TikTok as well as on Instagram. It's a post that I created about tipping and restaurants, right? As far as like, hey, what is the stigma in this country when it comes to tipping? Now look at the views. Look at the views, look at the comments, and you'll notice how both platforms take the viral type of content and they just have a different method of spreading it. Do you get what I'm saying? And so that's really the issue. It's the algorithm on how you as a creator could expose yourself to go ahead and do that. Now, TikTok is not perfect either. Not everybody could just be a creator. Let's just face it. You have to have like, let's say 1,000 followers on TikTok, right? Then if you want to go live, you have to have probably like 2,000. By the time you're watching this video, things might have changed. And then lastly, there's a criteria that once you have the ability to go live, you have to apply to be a TikTok shop, creator. And then even though you are a creator, you have to follow by rules. Like you cannot say certain things. And so where TikTok fails here is that they're not very transparent with you as to what you could say and what you could not say. That's the part where it gets a little bit tricky, right? And it's like, you try it and then your thing gets banned and you're like, but why? And it's like, but how come nobody told me? Or why isn't there enough awareness for people to say, look, you could do this, you could do that. You're just trial and erroring. Some even go more deeper and buy fake accounts that already have passed this threshold so that you could go ahead and start going live and doing all of this stuff. Now let's talk about YouTube for a second. I think YouTube is an amazing platform. The only thing is that when it comes to innovation and actively growing at a velocity to keep up with the demand of what social media is doing, they're extremely slow, and they're not up to the hype. Like, let's go, let's move. Instead, they take things one at a time. And as you notice, there's a lot of AI content that's being saturated. And it's like, how is it that fake content is being monetized and human content is not, right? Especially in my channel. If you guys notice, you look at my history on my channel, I have like about 17,000 subscribers and it's been a while, right? So if I'm not consistent posting content and all of a sudden now I become consistent, regardless if it's amazing content, they won't boost me up. In fact, when you're watching this video, if you found this video productive, you'll notice that it should have more views, but it doesn't, because their algorithm is almost like a credit system. They're like, well, if you haven't posted in a very long time, because you've been inconsistent, it doesn't matter if you discovered the fountain of youth, right? It doesn't matter if you're posting amazing news. We're gonna put you just a little bit. Why? Allow us to grow. Let's work together. If it's something that's viral content that's going to help you out and people are going to like it, stop suppressing it. And that's the problem we have today. TikTok has realized that they're like, forget the suppression system, because that's not how we move. People want to know. Let's put it out there. Let's test it. If a certain amount of people like it, all right, let's go to that next wave and so on and so forth, right? That's what I mean. And so what can we look for when it comes to 2025? This is what I advise you if you're an entrepreneur and you want to get started. Should you go on TikTok? That's really morally up to you. If you're very diplomatic here in the United States and you feel a certain type of way where you don't want to, play by certain rules that just feel, hey, I'm all about it. I think that our country comes first. I think that our privacy is extremely important as a nation. We shouldn't have others, rather if it's the ops or whatever, looking at us. You might say, but yo, Meta, they do the same thing too. They see everything. Yes, but they're in this country and they're regulated by the federal government, in the sense that if they go out of line, then, things could, hey, can't be doing that, or the opposite, right? Whatever. But the point is that when it's another country collecting that data, that's where things come. It's like, I don't know, right? But if you're an entrepreneur, that you're just like, hey, listen, I'm just trying to get this bread. I'm just trying to get this money. So that's when you're like, all right, I'm going to go ahead and take advantage of the TikTok Creator Shop. I'm going to make bread right there as much or as fast as possible so that I can use those resources and diversify to the other platforms. The other platforms that I know that are going to be there and have no issues. I truly think that if you're going to go down that route, all right, cool. There's nothing wrong with diversifying your financial strategy. I think diversification is great. It's just being creative about it. Most importantly, being consistent. I hope you really like this content. I'm trying to diversify to not just always, and today we're learning on Shopify how to add a product into the cart. Now, I'm not trying to do that. I'm trying to give you now business intel information. If you like this type of stuff, all I ask is press that smash button, demolish it, like, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I'll see you in the next one.